Hi guys, welcome to the beginner session here at CodeStack Meetup. We're going to do a little bit of prototyping with Adobe Xd, Adobe Experience Design. So, and then taking that prototype once we're done to actually code it to life with HTML, CSS, and using the Bootstrap framework. So it's really beginner friendly, and I think it's gonna be really doable even if you don't have much experience with coding in general or prototyping in general. And then Adobe XD is actually free, so hope you guys have it installed. But if not, and you're not able to have any prototyping tool whatsoever, you can just keep watching and then you can start following through the demo when we start coding. Because when we code, we don't need anything else but like a notepad or something. Visual Studio Code is what I use, but ultimately any text editor will work to start coding HTML and CSS. So, okay, so I will show you what we're gonna do. I'm just gonna start sharing my screen. Share. Okay, here we go. So can everyone see my screen?
Yep.
Let me see if I can see more. Okay, there you go. Perfect. So, do you guys know about Linktree? It's like a thing that you can actually sign up for, and then you basically get these pages where you can link different things. Like, so let's say if you have an Instagram and you want to link multiple of your stuff in there, you can only really do one link, right? On Instagram or Twitter. So Linktree is what they do, so they can have a web page that has all the links that they want to to display. So like, let's say I have my own website, and then I also have Twitter, I have Facebook, and I want to link all of those things, my YouTube or whatever. Then you make a Linktree page. And so basically people just use it, sign up for this, and then they can make their own Linktree. But I thought it would be cool to actually make our own from scratch. And there's a free version that has pretty much most of the things you need. But there are only limited themes as to what looks you can do, what fonts you can use. So at the end of this session, you'll be able to actually make your own Linktree fully customized to your liking. Well, you do have to have it hosted to your actual website for people to actually see it. But I think it would be pretty cool to learn how to actually make one rather than using Linktree, the product Linktree. Okay, so these are like some of the examples there. This is the pretty common theme that everyone uses. It's like the gradient with white outline buttons and stuff. Okay, so first thing that we need to do is to open your Adobe XD or any prototyping tool you have, though this session will use Adobe XD. And I already made my Linktree here. So I'm doing something for CodeStack, Linktree for CodeStack, but you guys on your end can make your own customization however you want it. Like, let's say you want to use your photo instead of a logo, maybe put your name and then make your own links and stuff like that. You can totally do that. You can fully customize it to however you like. And you know, this is like something that would be cool is after this session, you have something for yourself and you did it all from scratch. So yeah, but then if you don't want to customize it, you can also just follow me and we'll all make a CodeStack Linktree. Okay, cool. So let's start. This is Adobe XD. you have all your tools here to make shapes and everything. And if you have photos that you want to put within your Adobe XD, you can just drag your files into the workspace, and I'll do that for you. But for me, all of my images would come from my Adobe library. And then one thing that I want you guys to have in case you don't have it yet, which we will also use today, is an Adobe XD plugin called Icons for Design. And this is where we can actually get all these little icons here to use for the prototype and then later on in the actual coded website. So if you don't have it yet, I will show you how to get it. So you can go to the plugin sidebar, which is basically this one. Do you guys think that my texts are too small, like in general, or is it, can you see it? Like, can you read these things?
No, not the sidebar.
Okay, it's too low. Okay,
Yeah.
it's too small, I mean. Okay, let me try to fix that. Sorry. I thought it was small because I think it is small from for my eyes. So I feel like Zoom would make it even smaller. I think it's displays scaled. Oh, I'm going the other way. Oh, now it's so big. Okay, how about now? Is that better?
That works.
Okay. Okay, cool. So here you have here on the sidebar to your left, we have this Lego looking icon at the very bottom. So you click that and you'll see a plugins sidebar. And then you get to click plus here and it'll show you a plugins window here. And so then you can search icons for design and then install it. But I guess I can't install it if I already have it. So here's where you search it on the side. So you do icons for design. And then it'll come up here and it'll say get. And it's free. So I'll give you guys like a minute to install it, just in case you don't have it yet. Oh, and I realized since I already have this, maybe I should start from the top just in case. Oh, you can see all my stuff. Okay, so I just clicked on the iPhone 12 Pro Max because that's the size I want. Okay, and then it'll just open it for you. Okay, cool. Everything good so far? Thumbs up. I mean, let me see. I can see the chat. Okay, cool. And then if you have any questions, you can either unmute and say anything or just do the chat one. Okay, cool. So now we're here at our blank slate of Linktree. Very exciting times. So earlier we've seen like some samples, right? And so I want to kind of emulate those examples. So I want to have a background that has the CodeStack brandings because I'm doing one for CodeStack. So you guys can use your favorite colors or whatever color you want to use. And I'm gonna use the CodeStack colors. So I have here my CodeStack library. So this is where I get all the logos and the colors. So for you guys, you can just pick your color. So how you pick a color for the background of your screen is you click on the screen, and here on the properties panel on the left side, you have here appearance. and fill. So if you click this white rectangle here, you can actually pick your color. So you can go to whatever shade you want and all that good stuff. But I want to be, the fancy kid and actually use gradient. So you can click on the top portion. It says solid color. That's the default, but you can make it linear gradient. And then I can actually make gradient. So you see the two circles here. That means that this is the first color and it goes to that color and it blends, makes a gradient. So I'll pick the first color. I click on that circle and I want the code stack blue. Boom. Oh, sorry. By clicking here, actually, it made it a solid color. So let's do that again. Linear gradient. So now I have the code stack blue here. And then for here, I want the lighter code stack color. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to right click on this and copy the hex. So I'm going to go back here on the color picker. Click on the second circle that I want to change. And then I'm going to paste my hex color. Then hit enter. Okay, so now I have the darker code stack blue and the lighter code stack blue. And then here, you see this line here. This means that it's going from the darker side to the lighter side. So you can actually click on these circles here, this one and that one, and you can change it around, change the, the angle, change how it goes. So I want it actually really subtle, like you can barely feel that there's a gradient, but at the same time, I just don't want it to be too flat. So I'm gonna extend it a little bit far like that. So like the difference is if you don't extend it, you can see the contrast between the two of them because it's too, like squeezed in there. So if you want it to be subtle and gentle, then you have to make it longer. So let's say that way. I want it to extend from the corner to this corner. Okay, now I have my background. Cool. And then normally people put like their name here or their picture. So for me, I would put our logo. I think this one. Oh, so big. Why is that so big? It's not the one. Is it this one? No, that's not the one either. Okay. So if it's too big, I have to zoom out. Okay, so oops. Now I have our code stack logo, making it really smaller. Okay, so now I have the code stack logo in the middle. So you can snap things around. So you see like if it's in the center, it'll tell you that's the center. So make it easier for everyone. And so a tip, if you want to put your own picture, right, instead of a logo, then let's say you want it inside a circle, you can make a circle by using the ellipse or circle tool here from your left side, the third one, or key binding E. Well, it's not really key binding if there's only one key. Well, whatever. So you make a circle, right? And then you can get any picture from your files. So let's say, what picture do I have here? I don't want to, oh, this picture. Okay, let's say this is the picture that I want to use for the circle. Ta-da! So now you have that picture there. So you just have to get the file and drag it to your shape. And then the photo will take shape, the shape that you drag it into. Okay, cool. You guys following so far? Everything doing great? Okay, cool. So now we have our logo, and then it can also be just text. So you can use your text here, your text tool here on the left side, and then you can put your name, and then on the right side, you can change the text to whatever font you want. And then also whatever color you want here in the fill. Maybe make it center. So things like that. You can keep drilling into it. But for me, I'm okay with our CodeStack logo, right? And so what's left to do? Just the links. And basically all the links are just buttons. Oh wait, let me read some chats. Okay, I'm gonna ignore the chat. Okay, so now we have my logo, I have my background. All we need left are the links, right? To make it a link tree. So I want to emulate the whole button thing that they have going on in the sample I showed you guys. So I'm going to get the rectangle tool here on the left hand corner and actually make a rectangle. Okay. So you can like kind of eye it like how big you want these buttons to be. So I guess I want it like this. Right, cool. And then I want it to be like see-through so we can see the beautiful gradient color at the back, right? So I will uncheck on your right side appearance panel. I will uncheck the fill. So the fill, the white fill disappears. Then it'll be see-through or transparent, okay? But I want the border to be noticeable because right now it's gray and you can barely see it. So I'll click on that item again and I'll do white border. Boom. But maybe I want it thicker. So I'm gonna go to the size below it and make it 5. That's too thick. So maybe I'll do 3. Okay, that's good. Okay, so now I have the bone for my button or for my link. I will ignore the chats again. And then so now what do we need after the border of the button? We need the text inside it, right? So I'm going to do the text tool and I'm going to start writing. Just click on the canvas and you'll be able to type. So for CodeStack, I know we have an official website, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and then we have the CodeStack Media Instagram. Oh, and then the Academy website. So 7, we need 7. So just keep in mind we need 7, but for now I'll do 1. I'll do official website. Okay, so I typed that in and I want it to, well, whatever you want to do, but I want it left aligned. And so I want to make sure that, you know, I stay within the branding, the guide, brand guide, or I gotta make sure I use the official font of CodeStack, right? So I'm going to choose Montserrat, which is the same logo, the same font as the logo. Cool. So, but you guys, whatever you want, whatever font you want, you can do it. Okay, so now I have the official website. Okay, so this is pretty much what the free Linktree has. I don't know if they allow you to actually put like icons in it. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put custom icons in there. So for the official website, that's where we're going to the plugin at the bottom left corner. And then we're going to icons for design. And here I can search whatever icon I want. So for an official website, I think I want like a globe looking. So I'm gonna do feather because I like, so here you can see like different sets of icons. Like there's font awesome, there's feather, there's ionic, there's open, and then in some stuff there are other stuff like ionic is here, material design is here, material icons I mean, and then metro is here. So it depends on, you know, what corresponds to your search, but I wanted a globe and Feather has it. So I'm gonna use Feather. So you just have to click on it once and it'll come up on your canvas here. So now I have a globe and I want it like here. And then I want to change the color to another code stack color that we use. So like this one. So if you have like colors on your libraries or your assets, you can right click on it and do apply border color. So that's what I'm doing. I think it's too thick, so I'm gonna do 2. Okay, that looks good. I'm gonna make it kind of closer to that. I'm torn if I want it centered or not, but I'll just do left for now. And then the text, I want it a little thicker. So let's do medium. Okay, good. Cool. So this is it. It's done. We have our own button. And you want to also prototype like what happens when you hover over it, right? So you just select everything that your button has. So right now I highlighted the border, the text, and the icon. Okay. And then I'm gonna hit plus in the component here, or just right click and say make component. Click. Okay, now I have a component. So this is a whole group now. But making it a component actually lets you customize some kind of animation. So what happens when you cursor over it? We can set that. So now that it's a component, here on the right side, we can click the plus here. So this is your default state. They call it default state. That's the first thing that people see. Now you add a state here by clicking the plus, and you can add the hover state. Click. Then you can rename it, but I'm fine with that. Okay, so now we have a hover state. When you click it, that means that if you select the hover state, I can now customize it to how I want it to look like when we have the cursor over it. So make sure that's selected, because if you select the default state and then edit this, then you're editing the default state and not the hover state. Okay, so what I want to happen is the button becomes white and the text becomes blue when I cursor over it. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. So you can click inside it, click, and then now you can edit the text. So I'm gonna change it to blue. And then I'm gonna click on the border, on the rectangle, and put the fill back. So now I have a white fill. Cool. So this is what I want it to look when I cursor over it. And this is the default. Okay, so let's test it out. Did it work or not? So we can test it by clicking the play button on the top right corner. Okay, wait, let me move this, sorry. Okay, here. So you can test it here. Whee! So it works, which is good. Okay, now we know that it works. Now we can, do you guys remember how many buttons I needed? Was it 7 or 8? I think it was 7. Sorry, I can't remember. Okay, I think it's 7. So instead of like copy pasting it, so like copy, paste, and then move, copy, paste, move, or just keep pasting, move, move. Instead of doing all that, if you remember, for anyone who has used XD before, you guys can just do repeat grid here on the top right corner. And what it'll do when you toggle it, so now it's on, you'll have these green handles around it, and you can extend that and it'll automatically make multiple copies. So I said we need 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so now I have 7. But then I feel like the spaces in between them are too big. So I can just click on one and it'll automatically change it for all of them. Okay, and then what if I want to move the text? I actually want it to the center rather than to the left. So I can just move one of them. Oh, oh, sorry, because what? Why is there so many copies? Hello. OMG, what's happening? I think I copied. Okay, sorry, I have to retract it. So I'll do repeat grid. Wee. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and then make it smaller. And then I can change the text. Oh, you know why it's not doing it? It's a component. Never mind. Okay. So normally with repeat grid, you can like move one of them, it'll all follow. But since each of them is their own component, it doesn't work that way. So cool. So now we have 7 copies of the buttons. Now we can change each of them to whatever we want. So we can ungroup the grid and we have them all separated. So we said I have an Academy website. And then we have the I have Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Is it like, yeah, I think so. Twitter, and then Bootstrap Media IG. Okay, cool. So now we have our link tree. How are your link trees going so far? Do you guys have multiple links already? Oh wait, I forgot to like change each of the icons. So the website is still a website, so we're doing the globe. And then for Facebook, you can actually go back to icons for design, plugin, and actually put Facebook. And it'll give you Facebook. Monk. Okay. I just have to customize that, make it 2, and then change the color to this one. Oh, another trick that you can do too, like let's say these are your favorite colors, so you're gonna keep using it, right? You can, so like this brown or this yellow. So you can just click plus here on the color picker and it'll remember it for you. So when you go to the next one, so we want an Instagram icon here. So let's go to the icons, Instagram, click. And then here you can see, like we can click this one. Oh, oops, sorry, wrong. Oh, did I get awesome? Sorry, I wanted this one. Okay, so I have here Instagram and I wanted to change it to the yellow gold color. So I can just click that and it'll automatically apply it. Okay, and then I know this same Instagram, I want it for this one too, because it's also Instagram. So I'll copy it and put it in there. Cool. And then Twitter is the last one. Twitter. So I'll do that again, align it, make sure it aligns well. Make the size 2 and the border gold. Wait, I put it in the wrong spot. Oh, whoops. It's this one, dummy. Twitter. Okay, I'm gonna make it too. Cool, there you go. Wait, the YouTube, I forgot the YouTube too. So let's do YouTube. They have it too. Oops. Click onto YouTube, do a YouTube. Okay, two, and then I'll delete the other one. Delete. Make sure you align it well. Cool. I think we got it. There you go. Now we have our Linktree prototype in about 30 minutes. Any questions so far? Hope you're customizing yours the way you would want it. Papyrus, I see. Oh yeah, that's right. Also, Daniel said to make sure that you use a web font that's available. That is very true. I am using the font, this font, and it's available on like Adobe fonts that we can use in web, but that's like subscription based. So for you guys, whatever you have available, you have to kind of make sure you use a font that you have access to. So yeah. Okay, cool. And then I'm just gonna rename this to my CodeStack Linktree. Okay, so here's the fun part, is actually being able to share this to other people. So if you're the designer, you're able to share it, send them a link, or send whoever's programming it or coding it a link, so you can help them get the specs, like what colors did you use, what icons you used, etc. So we're able to share it. But before you share it, you also have to make sure that you set them up to be able to download your assets. So like a logo is an asset. So maybe for you use the photo, then that's an asset. So let's click on the logo and the icons to make sure that we include them in the package. By doing that, your programmer can download your assets. So here I click, this is our logo, and then it says artwork 7, right? But I can just rename it so it's easier to see later in the list. They would know which one's the logo. And then this is the link or the icon that you have to click, so it's available for export or for download. So just click that, and then that should be downloadable now. And then so you go through all of your icons here that you want your program or you yourself want to download. So we'll click this one too. This is the globe, and then this is Facebook. So you go through it. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and then we already have an Instagram. Cool. So now we have all of those available for download. Now we can generate the link. So you go to the third tab on the top right side, click share. And then here on the other side, you'll see view settings or link settings. And then you're going to select, oh, you can change the title too. So we'll do CodeStack Linktree. Then I'm going to do development. So that means that you're able to share like information that will help someone code it better. And then instead, it says here export for iOS because I picked an iOS size for the canvas. But since we're coding this in web, I want to export it in web. So you have to make sure you click export for web. Okay. And then if you remember the assets that we marked earlier, we want them to be downloadable. So you click check on that, make sure it's downloadable. And then anyone with the link, sure, let's do that. And then I'll create the link. So cool. So now we have the link. Now we're gonna click on it and see how it looks like. Nice. So now we have the prototype here. And like we can actually interact with it and stuff, right? And then here on the side, on the right side, you can make comments or something. And this is all web-based. So if you don't have XD and someone sends you an XD link for you to code their prototypes, you don't need to have XD to actually access this. This is all browser-based. So all you need to have is a browser. And then here, so you can make comments, whatever. And then here is where you can actually see the specs that I was talking about. So these are the assets. And then if you click on the colors, it'll copy the hex code for you when you're designing it. Coding it. And then you can also click on things and like, oh, I wonder what style the font has. So you'll see here exactly what it is. So the font is this, the size is this. So this will help you a lot when you're writing your CSS. Like, so you're typing font family, you know which one it is, Montserrat. Font size, it says here 20, so I do 20. Like line height 24, etc. And then if it's a different color, then you can search. Oh, you can copy the hex code here too, and then the opacity too. So if you mess up, if you messed with the opacity, this will also where this is also where you can check that. And then when, let's say, oh, I want a copy of this logo, you can just click on the logo and download it. You can download it as SVG, PNG, or PDF. Okay, and then another cool part of this is that they actually do CSS snippets, though I don't really recommend like just copy pasting the whole CSS and using it because it's not really intuitive. Like it'll give you hints on how you can code the page, but like, so let's say I just copied all of this and just follow that, then it wouldn't be responsive. So when you go to this page on, let's say, a 27-inch monitor, then it wouldn't look good because because the CSS snippet was written exclusively for this size. So that's why you kind of still have to write your own CSS to make sure that it's, responsive to whatever size of browser or whatever size of screen you have. And then what else did I miss? Oh, and then so let's say gradient. So I don't know how to code the gradient in. So this is where, the snippets can be good for you. So you can just get just the background part of things. And this will give you that effect. But like not the positioning stuff. Okay, cool. So for anyone who didn't who wasn't able to do the XD, I will send this link to the chat. So this is where you can start following in terms of the coding part of things. So we're just right on time, 7 p.m. where we start coding. Okay, so I sent the link. If you guys didn't do your own, or if you just want to do the coding part, this is where you begin. Any questions so far? Also, don't listen to what other people say. I do not roast people. I am very nice. I don't know where they got that from. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna start with my code, and how I normally do it. I just make like a, there you go. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so I just make a new folder. So I'll just make one in the desktop right here. And I'll say it's Linktree. Linktree. Okay, and then in my Visual Studio Code, or honestly, if you don't have Visual Studio Code, if you only have Notepad or whatever, Sublime or something, then you do you. But for me, I'm gonna open that folder just so I'm sure that all my stuff is going to that folder. I'm gonna open desktop and then I'm gonna do Linktree. Boink, open. Yes, I do. I'm the author. Okay, cool. Okay, so with Visual Studio Code, you're able to like do things like you add a new file here. But you know, it's like luxury. If you are only using Notepad, then just open a Notepad and save it to that folder later. And then I'm gonna do index.html. We also need a CSS because we said HTML CSS. So let's just do styles.css, making that setup right away. Cool. So now we have an empty index.html file. And we said that we're going to use Bootstrap. Bootstrap is a really big framework. Basically, it has like stuff that you can, it helps you start up a project without having to do lots of like brute work. It's kind of hard to explain everything that it does, but it basically saves you from a lot of headache. So since we're doing something quick, let's just do the CDN. Okay. So if you go to getbootstrap.com right now and go to docs, second link in the navigation bar, we have here getting started. And you can do like different ways on how to get started, but if you have your own way, you can do that. But for me, I'm just going to copy the starter template and use online links for that, so we can be faster. So I'm going to copy this whole starter template. Sorry, I'm hungry. I said plate. Copy, and then we're going back to the index.html and just paste it. Boom. Save. And you're done. So let's reveal this in Finder or whatever. And then I don't know why I keep saying whatever, but click. So this is what we have. Yay, we have an HTML page already. So fast, right? Okay, so this is how I normally do things, but you guys don't have to follow me necessarily. If you have your own way of doing things, you can do that. But if you want to follow along and see which one is more efficient, then we can do that as well. So I'm gonna change the title of the page to Code Stack. And how I normally do things first is I just code the whole HTML the way I think it should look. And I know if you're a beginner, it will kind of be weird to imagine it, but that's why you have your prototype. So it's easier for you to visualize it, right? So, okay, let's start. With Bootstrap, they have this grid system where they take the whole width of your web page to kind of explain it easier. And then they divide it to 12 columns, right? But with this, since normally people would see it in phones, but then we also want it to kind of look this way in desktop, right? Like if someone goes to your link on a desktop, but we want the buttons to stay kind of like small like that, but the background extends to however big your browser is. So keeping that in mind, let's say you have this 12 columns of web page, but this is just a small chunk, right? So how many columns do you think this is in a whole web page? So answer would be from 1 to 12. We have 12 columns in total, but we don't want the buttons to like extend from left to right. So how many columns do you think we should assign just for the buttons or the content? Any answers?
My guess is 10.
10. Okay, so this is 12.
No, 8.
And then 1, 2, this is 10. Oh, I said 8? Okay,
Yeah.
so 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is 8. Do you think it's 8? I mean, we can try it and see. Okay, let's just say 8. Anyone else have other bets? Place in your bets. Okay, let's just do 8. Cool. So let's start by making these columns. Are you guys ready to type? I'm gonna start typing. Okay. Can you see the code well, like big? Do you guys want it bigger? Okay, I guess not. Okay, so let's do a div. Let's start with the div. And all the columns always comes with, all the columns are always inside a row. So we're gonna do div class equals row. And the row, so all the classes I'm gonna use today, those are from Bootstrap. That's why we're using Bootstrap, so we don't have to manually code the columns. We don't have to manually code the rows. So yeah. Let's just say that's why. Okay. So I'm gonna do a div class row and make sure you type the closing tag. And we're gonna do inside it the column 8 that we talked about. So how that works, you put col dash, and then, so this is a desktop. So let's say a large screen. So we're gonna say large. And in Bootstrap, large is LG. So column, so col dash LG dash, and then how many column you want, 8, right? Then we close that. And now this is the container for our buttons. Okay, but we want to make sure that the background goes from left to right, right? So we can do the body, we can do the gradient in the body, and then inside it, we can do the row. But we have to put the row inside a container too. I forgot, sorry. So I'll do div class container. Okay, and then I'm gonna indent it to make sure you know that it's inside it. Cool. So this is our like basic structure. So the body is the gradient color, if you remember how it looks like. And then the container here is where we're gonna put the buttons. Okay. So inside the column, so this is column 8. Now we're gonna do the logo. So this is the first thing in that column. So we're gonna do, it's an image. So we're gonna do an image tag. So it's img, and then you put src, which means source. But we don't have the photo yet. So we'll skip that and do, let's just do that. Okay, cool. So we want to go back here and say, okay, now we need a copy of that logo to be able to code it to the web page. So we're gonna click on that logo and actually download it. Okay, so we're gonna go to the Linktree and just do, actually, I'm gonna make a folder inside it just so we're not so confused. Images and do logo.svg. So SVG is it's a file type that is vector based. So no matter how big or small you make your image, it won't get like squishy or it won't get blurry. So like if you use, let's say, a PNG or a JPEG, do you guys notice that like when you try to resize your own photos and it's small and you make it big and then your face is all blurred and stuff? So that's what happens when it's not vector based, if it's pixel based, which is PNG and JPEG. So that's why I use SVG. So no matter how big I want it or how small I want it, it'll look clear, crystal clear in your screen. So if you see here on our sidebar, we have an image, the images folder that I made, and now we have a logo.svg. Woo! So now we can put that path in. So from index, we have images. So let's do images and then slash. And then if you're using code, it'll kind of guide you through it. I'm just gonna type it. Oh, it's not letting me type. Okay, logo.svg. Cool. And then you have to make sure for accessibility, you have the alt attribute and just put whatever it is. So for me, it's the code stack logo. They're just describing it. So if you have like a photo of you with a duck face, then you're gonna say my photo with a duck face or something. Okay, and then make sure to save if you don't have alt save. Cool. And then what's next? Oh, we just have the buttons. Cool. Okay. So you have the image and you can like note it too. Oh, never mind. That's not. So like this is the logo. That's the comment syntax. This is the buttons.
How did you get your logo? Where'd you grab it from?
Oh, from this one, the specs, the link. So if you click here, you can download it here. And you can pick if you want it PNG and PDF, but as I said, I like SVG because it doesn't get squished. Cool. And right now we're just blindly coding it, right? So don't judge me if I go to the page later and it's all messed up because we still have CSS to do, okay? So buttons, we get Bootstrap also lets you use their button classes so you don't have to code it yourselves. And so this is how you do it. So our buttons are not really action buttons, right? They're actually links. So we're gonna use anchor tags for them rather than button tag because they're not doing an action, they're only redirecting you to another place. So what's the letter for anchor tag? Anyone? That's right, it's A. Oh, okay, A. Oh, I don't know if yours do this on Visual Studio Code, but if you like do A dot, that's whatever class it is, and then btn outline primary, because you remember how it's outlined, and then you hit tab, it'll automatically do it. I don't know if that's a thing that yours do. Anyway, and then let's say, so this one's, what is it? The first one is the official website. So we're gonna do https://codestack.org. Okay, and it says here official website. Oh, and then we can't forget the icon too. Duh. So this icon, I want to download it. Bulk. I'll just do globe. And I'm just gonna download everything. So Facebook, B, and then this one is Instagram. this one is YouTube. So see how helpful it is to have the prototype link. Instead of bugging the person who designed it, can I have the icons? Can I have the logo? Can you send me the logo? You can just download it yourselves. Okay, so I think we downloaded everything. So let's go back to the code and do an image, because it's still an image. Source images / globe. Oh, sorry, I forgot about it. Globe, the SVG. Globe icon. Save. So we have the icon and we have the text. So now we just have to keep, like making a copy of that and pasting it. Unless you want to keep typing, but I'm not going to do that. And then for code, you can do shift option up, shift option down, and it'll make copies for you. Wait, so how many do we need? 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now we have 7. And then it hurts my eyes. So let me kind of fix that. Cool. And from here, you just go through it. What's the next one? Academy website. So we still need the globe, and we will put Academy. And I'll say Academy website. Okay, and the next one is Facebook. So we're gonna do Facebook as the icon. Look here and do facebook.com/ oh, I don't actually know what the Facebook is for CodeStack. CodeStack SJ. Oh no, it's blocked. At least I got the link. Okay, so let's do that. Bonk. Perfect. What's the next one? Facebook, Instagram. Oh, I also don't know the Instagram. Is it Instagram.com? I think it's the same thing. Okay, so let's do that. Here we'll do that, but then it will say Instagram instead. And we'll do, oh, let me word wrap it so you can see everything. Okay, perfect. And then here I'll say Instagram. Oh no, I think I did IG. IG, and then I'll say Instagram icon. And we have the Instagram link, and we'll put Instagram. Oops. Make sure you're not removing brackets or whatever that is. And then here I forgot to put Facebook. Okay, Instagram, Glow. Oh, what's next after Instagram? YouTube. YouTube, I remember Tony said this earlier. I think it's youtube.codestack.org. And then it'll say YouTube. And then here it'll say, oh, and if you know how I'm typing everything, you don't actually have to type like the label. So you can actually go here. So let's say you don't want to, because this is like super short stuff, but like you'll get websites that have like a full paragraph to it. So you can actually click on that content and then click here on the side, it says content, and it'll actually copy the content for you. So I think I'm on Twitter now, so I'm going to copy Twitter here. Oh, this one. And then I'll paste it here. Bing. So it kind of saves you from actually typing. Twitter.com/code like Stockton or something. Does it have C? I know. Okay, and then it says Twitter. Twitter icon. Then here, the last one is, I think it's Instagram again. Do Instagram icon. And then we'll copy that again, just so we can apply that learning. So I'll click here and I'll click on the content on the right sidebar. And it says content copied. So I'll paste it here, paste. And then here it'll do instagram.com/bootstrap. Cool. So we have all our links. I think that's it. We're done. No, we're not done yet. Okay. So are you guys ready for the moment of truth? And you gotta remember that we haven't styled anything yet. So this is pure Bootstrap and HTML. So whatever it'll look like, it's Bootstrap's fault. It's not my fault. It's Bootstrap styling. Okay. So let's go ahead and reveal that in Finder and see what happened there. Okay, that looks totally different than what we have, right? Because I totally forgot to do breaks. Okay, so let's go back here. And then I also forgot to put the class that will make it actually go to the center. So I'll show you that. So actually here in the row, we put auto, I think, we'll see. And basically what it is, it gives like whatever's inside this row, an automatic margin on left and right. So hopefully that will make it go to the center. Okay, and then you gotta make sure that we have some kind of space in between them. So we see here on our XD that there's like a bigger space between the logo and the buttons. So we're gonna add a class here. So this is also more Bootstrap classes, as you can actually just say class equals MB, which means margin bottom. So you're able to add margin to the logo by just putting a class without having to code anything all that much. And that's thanks to Bootstrap. So MB, let's say 5 because it's the biggest one. Bonk. And then for the rest of them, oh, and you also have to do a break. To add a break between them, and then add a break between all of them. Okay, and then I still want like a little space between them. So I'm gonna do MB like 2 for each of them. So they have like 2 spaces between them. So margin bottom 2. Excuse me. Okay, so now we added margin bottom to everything. So hopefully that will give more space to it than that. Oh, I think I missed a closing tag here. Facebook, Instagram. So everything's inside Instagram. Oh, right there. Okay. I don't know what happened there. Why is there Instagram there? Okay, so now it's like that. Oh, but we want the icon to be inside the button. So we actually have to move the icons. I'm so sorry. It's my fault. Okay, so I'll do it on the first one and then we'll emulate it for everything. So here, this is the whole button. We want the icon inside it. So we're gonna move the icon tag or the image tag inside it like that. And then to add space in between them a little bit, we can do NBSP.
Those links that you have, were they on the XD link that you give us? If you click
Oh
on-
no, so these are like my memory.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's one thing about XD. It doesn't actually link to an outside link. So it like when you click it, it doesn't actually go anywhere. It's just showing you like more of like the effects on how or
Yeah.
how it
No
looks.
worries. I just wanted to see if like I could. I was like, where are the links at?
Yeah, I you know what? I can send that later so you can just copy paste it. Sorry. Okay,
Oh,
but
no.
anyway, I made a mistake that I didn't put the icons inside the button. So now I'm moving the icons inside and making oh, Christy's here. Hello. And doing NBSP, which is like the code for space. So we'll do that for everything. So enter, enter, enter. So just apply that to the rest of it. Almost there. Almost there. Okay. Move it there. No. Thank you. They're collecting trash. Collect me. I'm trash. Just kidding. Okay. Last one. Save. Oh, my neck hurts. Okay. Hopefully. So this move, hopefully it moves the icons inside the buttons. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, refresh. Yay! Wait, there's a bracket there. Where'd that come from? Oh, here. Okay, cool. Isn't it getting closer? Oh, wow. Amazing. Okay. So, and then also, you see how like the buttons are not the same length? That's because I forgot to put button block, which is another Bootstrap class that makes the button with the same as the container. So it'll follow the div it's in. So I'm gonna do that in one of them and you guys just have to emulate for everything. So need the end block. So I'm going to copy this to all of this to just be fast. So here. Okay, so now everything has button block. I did it right. Oh no, did they change it on Bootstrap? Sorry, I have to switch this up. Block buttons. Oh, they changed it. No. They changed the button block because
You're on Bootstrap version 5.1. I think the last one we were working on was 4.6 a few months ago.
yeah, I realized that now. Oh, whoops. Okay, so we're gonna have to add the div that encompasses all the buttons here because why would they do that though? Whatever. Okay, so we're gonna make a div. What did it say? Dgrid gap to? That says dgrid. So it's making a button grid basically, and then saying how many gap. Let's try that out. So this is something I haven't used before. Okay, so here to here to here. There you go. So I'm gonna save it. There you go, it worked. I think wonder what happens when I remove the gap because I don't. It kind of made it bigger. Okay, there you go. So I just removed the gap so it doesn't have extra gap in it. But I think we can also just remove the margin bottom that I did earlier. Try removing that. There you go. Okay, so now it occupies it. So this is column 8. I think it may be too long still, right? So maybe we should do 5. Okay, that looks kind of more like it. Okay, and then okay, cool. So let's see what happens when we make it smaller. Okay, it looks good. And then we can't see the logo right now because it's white on white. So we're gonna have to do that. And then let's do, I think, text center. I hope it's the same. We'll make the logo go to the center. Okay, cool. Right there. And then we'll also add, that's actually, so you see how it says here margin bottom? I'll make it Y. So that means that it's adding the margin top and bottom, which is like the Y axis. That's why it's MY. So now we have the 5 margin here and the 5 margin here. Cool. Okay, so we're looking pretty close to our Linktree, kinda, if you remember. So now we're gonna start actually styling it. So we'll have like the color and everything. So let's go to the header, the head tag, and make sure that we are linking our CSS.
What was the MY tag? Oh, it was class. Okay.
Oh, this one? So the MY tag is a margin and then Y because like it adds the margin on the top and the bottom, which is like the Y axis. That's why it's Y. Yeah. So if it's like MT, then that means margin top. If you do B, margin bottom. If you do L, it's left, R if it's right, but Y if it's both top and bottom, and X if it's left and right, because it's X axis. Okay. Okay, so now that we linked our style sheet, now we can get styling. This is my favorite part. So for the body, we want the body to have the gradient, right? And we can actually get that from the prototype again. So this whole thing. Right here. I wonder if I need both or just one. So let's try just one. Save. And let's see if it worked. No, it did not work. Okay, let's go back. Here. Oops. Copy both of it. Ta-da! Okay, but so now it's kind of cut off, right? But I think we need to do height is whatever the height of the viewport is. So viewport height is VH. Boom. Okay. So now the background is getting the thing. So we'll make it smaller so it's easier to look at. Cool. Sorry, I'm not used to having only one screen. I don't know what to do. Okay. We're almost there, everyone. Okay, cool. And then what we need to do next is actually style the button. So it'll have, because right now we have like the Bootstrap blue color, right? So, but we want it without the border radius, right? Like that one. And we also want to make it white. So to style that, we have to pinpoint the class that we used, which is, make it smaller, there you go, which is button outline primary. So we'll copy that and do a class for it. And say we want the border radius to be 0. And we want the border color to be white. And we want the font color to be white as well. So let's try it that work. Ta-da! It worked, yay! Oh, I forgot to do font family for everything is Montserrat for me. And then I want to do font weight medium. Oh, I think medium's not working. I think is medium like 600 or something? Or I know bold is 700. Oh well, we'll go back to that later. Okay, so now we have that, and then so we want to do the hover to be white background and blue text. So we'll do outline primary hover and do background color. And then we'll go to the prototype and get this. Oh, no, it's white actually. And then the color would be this one. So we click this to copy it and paste it here. See if that works. Refresh. Cha-chang! Now it works. Yay. But then remember how it's like kind of thicker line here? So let's go back here and do border. Is it border size? Oh, actually, I can just do just border and do white. 3 pixel solid. I think that'll work too. Done. No, it's a little, yeah, it's as thick as that one. Cool. Oh, and then I think I want the text align to be left, right? So we'll do text align left. And then maybe I want to add more padding. Padding top 20 pixels. I wonder if it's too. We'll see. Everything is trial and error, my friends. Oh, it's too big. I think I'll do 13. Pretty close. Yeah. Wait, I can actually just look at it. Oh, well, it's 21 here. Okay, cool. Oh, and then you can see, can you see that when I hover over it? It's like the side is still blue, but it's like blending in with the background. So I actually don't want that. So we'll do border color white as well. Refresh. There you go. Now it's solid white. Okay, there you have it. And all of a sudden we have a closer one. And I don't think it looks exactly the same, but it's close enough. Am I right? So how far did you guys get? And did I miss anything? Let me check. Oh, the fact that it's on the side here. Oh, I put the M auto somewhere. So I think if I move the M auto to the column itself, it will do it. Yay, I did it. There you go. So I put the M auto, the margin auto to the wrong div. So it has to be on the column itself. There you go. Whee. And then I think if you compare, it's like kind of longer still. So what if we do 4? Oh, there it is. 4. So there you go. So now if someone goes here in a desktop, it won't be, it's like nice and responsive, no matter what size of the window, right? And you can actually use it. Yay! Oh, this one has Angel. Hello. Yeah. Okay. We barely made it. 15 minutes left. And we were able to do it.